Good evening, Dr. Andy Daughterworth and classmates. My name is Emmanuel Herrera Cortorreal. Pleasure to meet you. For those that we have not have any interaction in the classroom. So for today, I'm going to be talking about optimizing military aviation professional through nutrition, our final project of the literature review. Hope you like my presentation. So a little bit of background in regards to this topic. So first of all, the reason why we're doing this literature review is because of aviation, right? So everything started with the Wright brothers with the first flight in 1903. So they were the first one that were able to fly a heavier than air power control flight. And this was inspired from German glider pioneer Otto Lilienthal, which he was doing experiment with the glides all the way from 1891 to 1896. Now, after his death, the Wright brothers they decided to use all of his advances that he found while he was researching the glider, and they applied this into building the first power control um, flight machine, which they call it the Wright Flyer, in accordance with the National Park Services report. So, in this literature review, we're going to concentrate only on how nutrition enhances the aviation pilot performance, specifically towards the military. So, role of nutrition in regards to safety in aviation operations. So, the role of nutrition is crucial to maintain the health, performance, and safety of pilots and aircrew. Physical and mental performance, stress management, and injury prevention and recovery. All of these are affected by nutrition. We have to also mention that in this case, we are only going to concentrate on talking about how nutrition affects all of these, but also there's other aspects that are involved into maintaining safety during flight operations, like mental health, exercise, rest, and all that kind of stuff. But for the purpose of this literature review, we're only going to concentrate on the nutrition part. So in regards to the aviation environment, some of the dangers that the pilots can encounter are the long mission durations, the different time zones, irregular work hours, changes in air pressure, extreme temperatures, vibrations, noise, G-forces, maneuvers, combat situations, equipment malfunctions, exposure to toxic substances, and decision making under pressure. That's just to mention a few of them. But being that flying is three-dimensional and is way different than, like, for example, driving a car, which is on the ground. Sometimes they compared aviation in regards to like NASCAR cars, right? So the NASCAR drivers they have to maintain control of the car going at a speed of 200 miles per hour and sometimes even more, which expose those race car drivers to about uh, uh, 3 Gs of force. Now, when we talk about flight, three-dimensional, but they're not on the ground, and they have to take all of these variations in considerations. Now we're talking about pilots being exposed to high G forces of like 12 and going at speed faster than the sound. So these are a little bit of the dangers that pilots dealt with during these flights. So that's why right now we're going to concentrate on how we can apply nutrition into helping the pilots maintain proficiency, maintain that mental clarity, and actually perform at their best. All right, so the methods that we're going to use to identify our research articles will involve numerous research articles were utilized for this literature review with relevance to the impact of nutrition on aviation pilot performance and health. So our focus was on sources published in the last 20 years to make sure there was still relevance to the current aviation practices. Obviously, if we go back, we can find information from like way past the 20 years, but we're trying to stay relevant in the topic. So some of the sources that we utilizes were the American Public University Library, which has an extensive database of academic journals and research papers. Also, we use PubMed, which has a comprehensive resource for medical and health-related research. The Google Scholar, which is very good for a wide range of peer-reviewed articles. And obviously, you can use an open web search for peer-reviewed articles from reputable journals. So our selection criteria for the articles were chosen uh, for those that focus on the effects of nutrition on pilot performance and health, which is our main focus of the literature review. Also, we included case control studies, research publications, and clinical trials. Um, we examine how diet and nutrition strategies impact overall performance in aviation pilots. So pretty much these are the kind of articles that we were looking for to include in this literature review. Right. So the main focus is going to be obviously how to optimize pilot performance, but also the importance of nutrition in the overall performance of military pilots. So, like I said at the beginning, we're only going to concentrate on nutrition aspect, and we're only going to focus in the field of the military. So, for our overview, well, this literature review examines peer-reviewed research articles addressing the impact of nutrition on military aviation pilots' readiness, endurance, physical performance, mental focus, and overall well-being. So our research focus was targeted to how nutrition optimizes pilot performance during regular and emergency flight operations, the role of nutrition in maintaining mental clarity and focus during challenging situations, and also the importance of nutrition in supporting mental health and its impact on flight safety. So also we found information provided by a article by Clement and Chung, which they highlight the rigorous medical requirements for military pilots, including checks for heart disease, substance abuse, mental health issues, and more, to ensure they can handle the physical demands of flights. Also, we compared those medical requirements from the military to the federal aeronautical administration. So that will be that is the Federal Aviation Administration. Yes. So we looked into the guide for aviation medical examiners provided by them, and we also compare it with the one provided by the naval medicine for, in this case, specifically the Navy. So it emphasizes the importance of good health and fitness levels for aviation personnel, including cardiovascular health and neurological functions and overall physical condition. So, majority of these requirements they actually overlap on both sides, whether it was just for the civilian side or for the military. They use kind of like almost the same requirement, with the exception that we're going to touch a little bit further later is that the Navy just requires a little bit of fitness test, and we're going to go over what are they looking for later on. So also we find articles about nutritional impact. So a little bit touching bases. We found an article from Robbins et al. That discussed the high BMI levels among active duty Air Force members and the resulting impact on military performance, highlighting the need for improved nutritional strategies to enhance flight operations and training efficiency. That was just part of like our introduction, a little bit of what we found in these articles uh, of the importance that nutrition plays in regards to the military aviation pilot's performance. So we're going to touch more about that in a minute. Right, so a little bit about um, the literature search strategy. So our strategy was focused on utilizing databases like the PubMed, Google Scholar, Web of Science, the ProQuest, EBSCO, which is Elston v. Stevens Company, which is a company that provides a lot of published articles, information to Science Direct, pretty good source. We use the APU library and the Biomed Central. Some of our search terms that we utilize to find the articles includes military pilots, aviation, nutrition, exercise, fitness, physical readiness, mental health, mental performance, physical performance, stress, resilience, and focus. So pretty much all of these different terms, we can kind of like add them up and kind of like populate different searches for different articles depending on what we were trying to find at that moment. But those were like the most used terms in regards to our search. Now, our objective for the search was to compile a wide range of research studies focusing on the physiology and psychology of military pilots and the effect of nutrition to optimize performance. So, also, we wanted to examine implications for aviation pilots' performance and overall health affected by nutrition specifically. So our literature inclusion criteria. So in order for us to include the articles in the literature review, the articles have to be focused on military pilots nutrition or nutrition and aviation performance. So the studies also have to examine the effect of nutrition on aviation performance and overall pilot health. We concentrated on peer-reviewed journal published within the last 20 years, like I said before, to make sure they were still relevant to the topic nowadays. Also, we look for articles that provide quantitative and qualitative data on mental and physical performance and the effects of nutrition on aviation performance. So obviously, most of the articles that we use we make sure that we're in scientific articles and they provided the data to prove those research. Right. So some of the topics that we're going to be talking about in regards to the results and the discussion will include the aviation physical and mental standards as a basic of understanding what is the basic requirement for the pilots. So it's going to be more in general, right? So we're going to talk about the requirements that the FAA uses, but we're going to use more the requirements used in the military, which in our research we found out that they are all different depending on branch. So each branch has a different requirement for their pilots. Also, we're going to talk about nutrition and mental performance, and nutrition effects on exercise and performance, nutrition on work-related stress and well-being, and nutrition, exercise, and well-being as an overall. Okay, so talking about the medical and physical requirements for pilots. So if we go to FFA, the Federal Aviation Administration. So we're gonna find uh, some of the basic requirements as like the blood pressure that they're required to have, the eyesight, as you can see here, like they have like distance vision 20/20 or better, or near vision 20/40. Um, and these are both with corrections, but that's the minimum requirement. They also check for hearing. Now, the only other thing that we found that specifically in the Navy, they're going to emphasize for pilot requirement will be to pass a physical fitness test. In this test, they will require the candidate to perform push-ups at a certain amount of push-up and within a time set, and also a distance run with the time set and a plank hold for a required minimum amount of time. Um, in all of these, what is the role of nutrition? Well, the role of nutrition is to provide a balanced diet that is essential for these candidates to achieve and maintain these health and fitness standards. Proper nutrition will support the overall health, physical performance, the readiness, and will help pilots maintain medical and physical flight clearance for aviation operations. As you can see, the requirements to become a pilot, they are very, very rigorous, and they also go through very, very difficult tests in order for them to become pilots. And that's in regards to all of the unsafe environment situation stuff that we discussed earlier, right? So obviously what they're trying to make sure is that they get in very healthy people that can actually withstand these complications in flight operations. That's the main reason why they have these requirements. So talking in regards to the nutrition and the mental performance. So in regards to the nutrition and mental performance, um, it is very important for nutrition to be applied to enhance the physical and mental performance of the aviation pilots. So our research focused on the effects of the diet on mental factors in resilience, tiredness, concentration, response, speed, and clarity. Our research findings. So we found a research by Lindsay. So in this research, so in the research by Lindsay, um, this research, they were able to prove that balanced diets improve memory, attention, and problem-solving skills. So these implementation of diets are essential to provide nutrients like carbohydrates, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals to protect the brain, cells, and enhance brain functions. Also, they provided emphasis on hydration, fruits, and vegetables to improve nerve cell communication and prevent mental decay. Sorry. Also, another article by Coop and Green explained the relationship between pilots' dietary habits and blood lipid profiles. Some of the findings, they find out that there were high saturated fats and cholesterol in pilots' diets that were leading to elevated blood lipid levels. So some of the mean blood lipid levels profiles in this research had the cholesterol at 218 milligrams, um, HDL cholesterol at 45 milligrams, and triglycerides at 109 milligrams. Some of the recommendations that resulted from this study was the pilots needs dietitian assistance, need to reduce the fat intake, and need to implement regular exercise. So for the nutrition effects and exercise and performance, um, we're concentrating on the importance of fitness, of physical fitness, essential for handling high stress and demands of in-flight operations, and critical for overall human performance, especially for military pilots, because of the different dangers that they get exposed to. So some of the key studies that we found a study by Prokopsky and Wakimsky. So in the study, they pull out 29 pilots cadets that underwent a 35-hour program to lose fat and gain muscle. So the standardized diet was set at 4,500 calories per day, which included 150 grams of fat, 112.5 grams of protein, and 675 grams of carbohydrates. At the end, they were able to prove that these controlled diets and control nutritional habits improve the overall fitness necessary for cockpit operations. Also, another study by Mastienjak and Fook, and the physical activity improves physical health, mental focus, and resilience. So, regular exercise regulates heart rate and improves stress management. This is essential for staying calm and focused during stressful flight situations. And our third research for this nutrition effect on the exercise and performance was conducted by Mielgo Ajusa and Fernandez Lazaro, where they were able to prove that dietary supplement enhances recovery and increase energy reserves, and nutrition supports energy for exercise, muscle recovery, and improve mental and physiological functions. So some of the combined benefits is regular physical activity and proper nutrition enhance concentration, relaxation, and overall performance. And a balanced diet rich in essential nutrients is crucial for optimal physical and mental performance. So, in the topic of nutrition on work-related stress and well-being, uh, we concentrating on the proper nutrition and physical readiness, on the external stressors outside of pilot control, such as work-related stress, and the impact of well-being, readiness, and performance. Some of our research findings concentrated on the work-related stress, which is the response to work demands and pressures beyond abilities. This was the definition provided by a study conducted by Cahill et al. So the effect of work-related stress is increased fatigue, diminished mental focus, impaired decision making, which impact flight safety. So some of the military duties that we find in that research also includes the long work hours leading to anxiety, depression, neuroticisms, impairments of function and sleep issues, fatigue, and cardiovascular risks. Some of the healthy nutrition habits association with improved exercise engagement and quality of life. This was found in an article by Wilson et al. Some of the benefits of introducing nutrition as a good habit is improved body rest, reduce inactivity during long flights, decrease fatigue through healthy diets and regular physical activity, and proper sleep are recommended along with a proper nutrition to enhance the pilot performance. So for us to be able to address the stress and the fatigue, the Navy approach was to focus on mental health, nutrition, physical activity, and sleep to maintain readiness and performance. This was provided by the article from Smith in 2019. So some of the tools for managing stress, so they have wellness app and thorough checklist for health tracking. Also, they have a key questions for self-assessment. So it was provided for pilots to understand about their well-being. They can ask themselves about how are they feeling, how are they coping, and what are they actually doing in regards to their well-being. This is in regards to well-being is in regards to six behaviors that they need to monitor. So they need to monitor their amount of activity, the physical exercise, emphasis on diet, sleep, stress management, and social relationships. So they got to look at all these different aspects for them to make sure they maintain a well-being in order for them to be able to perform at their best during the flight operations. Emphasis in the diet in this case, since we're doing our literature review in regards to nutrition. So like I said earlier, right? So they had three questions that they came up on that study, and then these three questions answered uh, if the pilot is taking care of their well-being. And then they provided this diagram of everything that they need to take care of to make sure they maintain a well-being. Right. So in regards to nutrition, exercise, and well-being, so putting it all together, our overview was the success in aviation is influenced by a combination of balanced nutrition, physical activity, proper sleep, and a safe environment. So pretty much all of the articles that we research, they make a lot of emphasis not only on the nutrition part, but also having a balanced life, balanced nutrition, and a habit for exercise. So with all these items together, we can make sure we are having uh, well trained and well rested and uh, uh, sorry pilots. So it also improves health and fitness through these factors, enhancing pilots and air crewmen's performance. So some of the key findings um, were by the article by Wilson et al., which analyzed the effect of combining health eating, physical activity, and sleep hygiene on aviation performance. And some of the participants following an organized lifestyle showed significant improvement in various health metrics. The study design, they provided a balanced diet with essential nutrients. They provided a tailored fitness routine for each of the participant and the strategies to enhance sleep quality. Some of the outcomes from this study was the reduced body weight, It improves cardiovascular health, better sleep schedules, and also it enhances the mental well-being. Right. So some of the limitations of our research that I found was our search criteria and research focus. So obviously, our research was tailored specifically for the military aviation community, and also our research focus on pilots and air crewmen and the effective nutrition of performance and safety. So obviously, for future research, the suggestions are to broader our study population with including contrasting information from commercial airline, coast guards, emergency rescue pilots, and civil aviation operations, which will help us get a bigger picture of the effect of nutrition in aviation in general. Also, some of our suggestions for future research will be to diversify demographics by investigating differences in pilot performance based on sex, rank, age, and physical fitness levels. That's for us to be able to compare the effect of nutrition, in this case, between male and female. So also, we can include in this further research the job satisfaction part. So we can explore job satisfaction in military and civilian aviation, and then we can compare the both and see what is different on another and which things we can implement from each other to enhance that job satisfaction. Also, we can assess how flight surgeons, physiologists, physical trainers, and other supporters use nutritional knowledge to optimize performance. So our conclusion, so in our summary of findings, we cover the approach of several different factors. So the importance of integrated nutrition, exercise, mental health care, and a stress management in aviation programs. So obviously, like we found out in majority of the articles, is not only concentrating on one thing, is a concentration of all of these different categories. So integrated nutrition, exercise, care for your mental health, and also have stress management techniques. So the whole aim was to reduce human error factors in military aviation through healthy diets, regular exercise, scheduled rest, and nutritionist expertise. So our nutritional impact, we found that balanced diet rich in essential nutrients improve physical and mental performance. Also, it enhances mental focus, resilience, and overall mental capacities. So for our exercise benefits, it maintains cardiovascular health, reduces stress, and prepare pilots for physical demands. Not only just that, but it also makes sure that pilots maintain physical and standards requirements in order for them to stay active as military pilots. Also, in the work-related stress, we emphasize our research on the high stress levels leading to fatigue, reduced mental function, and impaired decision making, risking safety. Also, they provided tools like wellness app and health checklists that help monitor and manage health and stress. So for our future research direction, we want to broaden the study population to include commercial and emergency rescue pilots, and we like to consider variables such as the sex rank, age, and the job satisfaction. We like to tailor health programs to develop health programs as specific to military pilots' unique needs, also focusing on safety, health, and mission success. So to conclude, uh, we like to mention some collaborate some efforts. So for all of these to happen, obviously, since all of the different requirements that we were looking at, all of these different branches and different aviation services, they have their own requirements separate, right? So in order for all of these to happen, it will have to be multi-organizational approach focusing on nutrition, exercise, mental health, and stress management. Like I believe that every little organization that handles some sort of aviation will benefit if they link up together and they kind of like provide each other with the researches that they already have done. That way, we don't have to repeat those researches on the different organizations. Also, this collaboration will improve health, resilience, and performance of military pilots, and also we can they can apply all of those knowledge to the civilian sector as well. And it will lead to safer and more effective aviation operations. Right, so this concludes my literature review. Here is a list of the references that were used for this literature review. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.